Welcome to Words Are Spells, the rock oracle. I wanted to show you how I paint a rock. Like, I know it sounds like it's very simple, and it is simple. It can be as simple as you want it to be. It can be as hard as you want it to be. You can overthink it. You can do whatever. But for the purpose of this video and just this share, I wanted to show you some of the rocks that I have painted, and then also what I am doing for this project. That in my previous post I was talking about how the beginning of the year or sometime within the year that I am experiencing, I will paint a rock that has the word that is associated with my tarot cards. So like this one was for my Hanged Man year, and even though this doesn't, that it looks like an 11, it's not an 11, it's a pause sign. So, you know, when you go to pause the movie, you hit this button on the remote. So that's basically why that's there. It does throw me off a bit because I forget, but the bigger energy is the fact that it says pause. So that one, I like how this one is just like a smooth, flat river rock. And you can see it's not too thick. And it's not big. It's maybe like, let's see, it's just under 2 inches tall by 1.5 inches. So there's that one. Integrate, this was for my temperance year. And I even put a little date to remind me. Endure was my strength year. This one I actually did with paint markers. So you don't have to just use brushes or tools like that. I wanted it to get done, and it was just a simple way of doing it. You can see I didn't cover the whole rock, just the top. So the bottom looks like really pretty, but that was for my last year for strength. This was death. This was transform. And sometimes I'll take the colors. This one I had painted the whole rock white. Sometimes I'll take colors that I feel like go with the word. Sometimes I just pick whichever ones are at my fancy. Selfish, this was for the devil. And this, again, I only painted the part that you'll see. And then this was my tower year, was liberate. I did my snakes. I was also really into that, matching my tattoo. And this one again. And this one I like because it's just kind of like it could also be like a worry stone. And then what I do is I just cover them with a matte finish. And for the purpose of these, I actually use Mod Podge because they're not going to go out in the elements. They're just for me, and so I keep them at my ready. If they are going to go out in the elements, like I've had this one. This is one, let me just grab and reach across the screen. This is one I painted years ago, and see how it's shinier. It says, bitch, be cool. And this was in a plant for a long time, but now it's in I have a little shelf. But this, yeah, so 2016 I did this one. And this was in, you know, like I said, a plant. So there's a little bit of weathering to it, but this is like a glossy varnish. I don't like that for the purpose of using them as an oracle because I don't want the shine to overpower it. This is another one I've painted, Meditate. This one took a long time, as you can see, if it's gonna zoom in. It's got like little evil eyes all around it. And this one, like I drew that, I think I drew it first with a pencil, and then I went over it with a really tiny brush, and I'll show you some of the tools that I use. Like this is like one of my favorite brushes for lettering. It's a 10-0 script brush. So there's that one. And then now I'm going to show you some of the ones that I've painted already from my list of words, because this is one of those projects that once it gets started, it's hard to stop. Like every single, my free time when I have it, when Braxton's like allowing me to have some free time, I want to paint rocks. So here's Create. And while I do have a bigger one of Create for the purpose of the oracle, like here's my big one. This is just kind of an altar stone. And this one you can see I just did that, but I wanted to bring in that energy into a smaller rock. Let me go let Braxton out real quick. Be right back. Okay, I'm back. A demanding 7-month-old puppy. Anyway, so here's Create, and I wanted to do like, when I approached it, I said, oh, I would love to do the primary colors, and then of course that turned into doing the rainbow and just having the idea of all the colors at my fingertips. And of course, create isn't just an artistic sense, it's just create the life that you want, create the home that you want, create the job that you want, create, just like we are here to create. So that's when I see that it's surface value, and then it's also everything in between. So that was the first one. And then I did navigate. And so for this one, I did the compass rose at the top and a little boat. I will admit I'm not 100% happy with this one, but I'm going to use it anyway because it's the seas of our life is not always perfect and pristine. It can get messy. I was trying to get too fancy with like the background, like I wanted it to look like land masses and a map, and then I was like, and I'm gonna paint over that. So the fun part is since it's just paint, you can always paint over it. And this one, I painted the whole rock. Didn't have to, but I did. And then I sealed it. Which ones? Oh, I'm just gonna grab all the ones I've done so far. Ah, sorry if that was loud. Then I did Swear. This one was fun. And with this one, I thought about, you know, that I did the black base, and then I thought it would be neat to just do like a gray and just kind of give it. So I'm playing around with the ways that the paints show up in the words. And for this one with the dots, I use a combination of brushes and dot tools. And of course, I'll show you those. And we did put them off camera. Whisper, this one is actually a silver acrylic pen paint marker. So if you're not comfortable with brushes, use the tools that you have. If you have acrylic paint markers, use those. Use colors pencils, like anything. And then the white is paint, but I wanted to be able to really get that word on there. So I sketched it in pencil first, and then I went over that with the silver. And for me, it was like Whisper was like a silver color because it's there, but it's not there. It's like shimmery. And then Destroy. I like this one. This one kind of feels like a graffiti almost. And I wanted the paint to feel chaotic. And then looking at the colors, I was like, well, it's probably got that Mars energy. So it was like the reds and, no reds, but the oranges and yellows. I wanted warmer tones. Unplug was another one. So this one is just very simple with the unplug, and you know, the shape of the rock, I was like, how am I going to write it? And so I just hyphenated it, and then a sun came out, and I figured, you know, when you're plugged in, you're kind of in this cloud and in this fog. So then when you unplug, you can go back out into the daylight, and you can actually just see the world blooming past the clouds. And then it brings me to the last one that I've done so far, and that is Draw. And I use the dot tool on this as well. I painted the black kind of in the shape of the stone first, and then I did the white. I did use pencil to map out where Draw was. Pencil on the black works really well because you can paint over it and you don't see it. And then the dot tool, and then I went in with the thinner brush to put the blue, the teal into the white. In this one, almost got away from me. You can just see that I didn't even prep other than that black part. So the purpose of this video is to kind of show you, to show and tell, and also some of the other rocks that I have. So these are ones that I'll probably prep and prime. You can see this one was sitting in a plant for a while, so it has like the stains from the water. These are already prepped in white. I kind of like the jagged edge. This is going to be kind of a agitated word. I haven't figured out which one yet. I don't know. Almost looks like a shark's tooth. This one, you know, they're flat and they're uneven, and I kind of like that about them. Some of the stones I don't think are going to work for this oracle. Like this one, it's so round and it's so robust. Like, see how it's like just big, but I still have it because I will paint that eventually. And same with this one, it's almost too round. I like them to have somewhat of a flat surface. This one, again, is almost too round. So those are on this pile of like ones I'm not going to do for this project. This is still a maybe because while it's got a nice flat bottom because it's shale that broke apart, but the way that it arches, so you can see that it's like, it might not be the best surface for this project, but it doesn't mean I can't paint it. I did find some more flat stones, so these I'll use as good ones. This one's a good one because it's flat, and then it almost looks like a tombstone, so maybe I'll do some sort of like difficult word on it, something to lay to rest. It could just say rest on there, that would be good. But yeah, so just connect with some of the stones that you see and look at them in a way of what word might want to go on there, and then go from there. The next video I share is going to be actually what tools I use, because this has gotten longer than I expected. Typical Jamie. What tools I use, and also painting a rock with me. So see you next video.